Looking to transform your family game nights? At Perfectly Picked Games, we specialize in family games that bring everyone closer. Our games aren't just fun. Kids and teens will learn how to take turns, develop basic strategy skills, and understand the thrill of winning and grace of losing. With our exclusive gift of games, you can give months of gaming excitement to your family. Choose a 3-month or 6-month gift, and we'll deliver hand-picked family games to your doorstep every month. And here's the best part. Right now, you can use the promo code GOLDENMOJO and receive 20% off your selected plan. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. Use promo code GOLDENMOJO and save 20% today at Perfectly Picked Games.
Welcome to the United States of Paranormal Podcast. Sit down and buckle up for an enlightening ride through everything cryptid, creepy, and paranormal.
Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is Golden Jay, and I'm hanging out with
the Record Chick
and
J-Dub.
And today, for episode, I'm going to call this part 1, we have special guests, Jamie and Jennifer from the Unexplained Archives podcast are with us.
Woo-hoo.
But most important, they are part of the Ghost Files family. That's really fucking hard to say in one word, in one second. Ladies, it is so good to see you again. I know that I got a chance to talk to you when J-Dub did the Unexplained Archives, but it's actually nice to see. Well, you can see me. I watched you guys the whole time, but you know that was just the way it was. But it's so good for you guys to be here. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Gosh, thank you for having us. This is great. Absolutely.
So I'm figuring out how I'm wording this as we go here. We are going to do this in 2 parts. We're going to record a very large section tonight since we are all together, and we're going to do this in 2 parts. But then our part 1 is going to be about Jamie's experiences and her documentary with Austin and the Ghost Files and everything that was involved in that. And I have some questions just off the top of my head when it comes to Austin. And like you, we've been very, very fortunate to have him on the podcast a couple times. We did an episode just at the release of J-Dub's doc. And then what was it, the 3 millionth view, I think we did one with him. And so I love Austin. I love working with Austin. He's an open book. Jamie, what was it like for you to work with Austin?
It was great. I mean, when he first contacted me, I had been contacted by a lot of people wanting me to tell my story, and I was just kind of over it. But there was just something that seemed very genuine and down to earth about Austin that made me, for some reason, be like, okay, maybe I'll work with this guy. He seems cool. And so from the get-go, he wasn't pushy. He was just like, hey, this is how I found your story. I'd like to tell the true story because I know the Discovery Channel embellished a lot. Right. And so, that kind of caught my attention because I was pissed off, really, after watching, the way the Discovery Channel did it on The Haunting. And so I was like, okay, maybe I would like a chance to tell my true story. So it was great. He was very easy to work with. It was easy to set it up. He was coming to me as opposed to the complicated process of trying to tell it for the Discovery Channel. He was just really cool and laid back. It was from the beginning, it was great.
Now, I noticed when I watched your documentary originally, and then in the rewatch, it really kind of popped out to me. A lot of your experiences almost mirrored J-Dub's.
I know. It's so crazy.
I thought it was extremely interesting.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, A Haunting got a hold of you to do one of their episodes.
Yes.
And was it the same for you like it was for J-Dub, where they just set you in a chair and they interviewed you
Yes.
for many, many hours?
For hours. Yes, it was crazy. And before that, I had 2 phone interviews that were pretty lengthy as well.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow. And I know that, and we'll talk about this as we go along, like the car accident was embellished by a haunting.
Yeah.
And just other big chunks of it too, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the car accident happened, but they made it seem like the ghost of Christmas past jumped in front of me and caused the accident, and that wasn't the case. And also, I mean, there were many parts of it that were embellished. We never saw an entity that looked anything like what they, claimed. It was shadowy figures, is what we actually saw. And I felt like the scariest parts of my story, of my true story, they left out entirely. And it was just really annoying. So
yeah, I know that. I have not actually went back and watched your A Haunting episode because I didn't want to be even more pissed than I was at J-Dub's episode.
Yeah,
I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah, I went back and watched it.
And what did you think? Did you think it was compared to the way Austin told it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Exactly. I know her.
I know the truth. I know what happened.
I was the most upset that the actress playing Jamie did not come in with an accent. I wanted more Arkansas in that voice.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, no. Yeah. It took me right out of it.
She was cute, though. She was
cute. For sure. But I needed more. I needed more to believe it. There was no Arkansas in that voice. I hated it.
I know. They left out the twang. How dare they?
You gotta have it.
Yeah.
That's funny. So it was, you bought the house in Lamar, Arkansas.
Yep.
And it was like Jennifer's. It went back to the mirror. It was your dream house. You really loved this house.
I loved it. I still love it. I'm still sad.
Is it still there?
It's still there. It's still there. They've done a few things to it. I wouldn't say in a good way. Like it did have these really cool shutters. And there were like 6 windows because it was kind of colonial style. So there were 3 windows upstairs and 3 that mirrored it below. 2 front entrances because those old houses, they had to have 2 entrances on the front. And they like ripped down the shutters and took a lot of the personality away from it. I don't know. So
interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about the backyard and the graveyard that you had back there?
Yeah. Well, it was on 5 acres, which was really cool. So lots of room to, I had kids and dogs and, it was great. But there was a cemetery. It was an old Confederate cemetery, but it was deeded off. So that wasn't actually, it was on our land, kind of in the middle of our land, but the town took care of it. It was deeded off. Yep. So, but it was in the middle of our land. So about 100 yards, about a football field's length away from the house.
That has got to be one of the weirdest things ever, to be able to go to your backyard, but you don't own this little piece that's in the middle of it.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I thought it was fascinating that it was there. When I first moved in, I wasn't scared of it or anything. Right. I thought it was cool. So. And
you did some pressings or some chalk scratches on it, right?
Etchings. Yeah.
What did you pull out? Did you pull out some interesting names, or
there were a lot of Shropshires? That was the last name. And they actually called it the Shropshire Cemetery. So it was like SHROP Shropshire. And a lot of that family, and some of them were like infants. There were a lot of really young kids that
Really?
were buried there. A lot of whole families, it seemed like. It was very bizarre. So almost like maybe was it smallpox or something, took out
Right.
a bunch of people. I'm
And
not
do
sure.
you think that they were the ones that lived in the house at the time?
I'm not sure. See, because we never could get our hands on any of the historical documents that were attached to the house. But
That's crazy.
yeah,
You would think that would be in public property. They would have had all those records to go back. They were easily accessed.
right. What I was told was there was a fire at some point at City Hall or whoever had the documents, and a lot of that stuff was lost.
Right
So,
on.
yeah.
Right on. Very. I don't know, man. I think I would love it and hate it at the same time. I would think that having a cemetery in my backyard would not be something I would want in
Yeah.
particular, but at the same
Yeah.
time, look out and see it would be like, that's cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
It was
What's
cool.
your-
I thought it was cool until I didn't.
Until you
When things
didn't.
started happening, I was
Until
like,
that shit
"Ooh."
came in the house. I was
Yeah.
like, no, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another cool thing about the backyard was there was a rock building that is still there as well. An old stone, like rock building, that was the original kitchen because back in those, when the house was built, the kitchen was outside the home. It wasn't in the house. They did it
Right.
separately. And so I thought that was cool. I mean, it had a kitchen when I lived in it, but at the time it was built, it was separate and that building was still there. I liked
Right.
that. I thought
Wow.
that was a cool little historical tidbit,
Right.
you know?
We just ran into that at the Lloyd Hall plantation. If you walked out the back of the plantation house, the original kitchen for the plantation was like the first building out there, which was
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't they do that because it gets so hot in the summer times that they have the kitchen away from the house so it's not as hot in the house?
Yeah,
Is that
probably.
why they do it?
I would assume so.
Mhm.
I also thought that maybe with the plantation itself being, and this has been my experience, being so large,
Mm.
they wouldn't have anybody roaming in and out of the house. Everything would be out there for anybody who was coming up to eat or anything like that. But, that's just a thought. I don't know how accurate that would be, but
I
it's
don't
it's
know.
interesting that they would do that, and now more than one instance that we see that. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I don't know. Do
Um,
they just carry the food into the kitchen when they're ready to feed people? Like, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I just
Yeah,
thought it was interesting, but
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe they keep those stoves cooking all the time, and they didn't want that extra heat in the house, and
Yeah.
maybe that's why they did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Jen said about in the summertime, those big windows in those old houses though are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Um, another mirror between yours and J Dub's is in particular you had the lady that came to your yard sale and then had like you said in the doc where she had touched the house or the railing, whereas
Mhm.
J Dub has a housewarming party and she gets some dude coming in there and telling her that there's spirits in there. I thought that was really interesting too. I mean, did you ever follow up with her or talk to her ever again after that incident?
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't, but it stuck with me. I mean, we
Yeah.
hadn't been there long. It was like we moved in, and this is the crap we're not going to use. Let's sell it. And she just walked up, and it was weird though, because she was like touching the railing and or rubbing her hand on the post. I'm like, what's this chick doing? And then she's like, there's a lot of spirits here. There's a lot of spirits here. So
Well, duh, I got a cemetery in my backyard, lady.
Exactly.
yeah.
You said there was a lot of children in
Yes.
that graveyard.
Mhm.
Do you think that some of those were what was in the house playing with the kids' toys and
Could be. It
and
could
the
be.
ball bouncing down the stairs and
Yeah.
that stuff? Yeah.
And there were a lot of little pranks too. Like I would find things in my shoes. I'd take my shoes off and there'd be like dimes in there or Cheetos. I found Cheetos stuffed in my shoe one time. Yeah. And so a lot of it, the innocent stuff seemed like kids' pranks.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it could be. And the ball bouncing was a common occurrence in the
Yeah.
house. So yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes a little bit of sense now. I mean, that those actions of the toys and the ball and the knocking or the beating on the walls, like
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I can't imagine you trying to sleep and somebody keeps beating on your damn wall.
It sucked.
Yeah.
And you just get to be relaxed and about to doze off, and then you like jump up and you're startled and your adrenaline's going. You can't go back to sleep for a while, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So
That's what the rocker chick always tells me when I'm wobbling around the house at 2 a.m. She's like, "Shut up, go to bed."
yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. Um, you and I'm trying to remember, this is a little bit later in the documentary. Yeah, early on you talked about you were doing legal stuff.
Yeah.
Um can you tell me a little bit more about what you were doing?
Yeah, I was a legal assistant for my mom's law office. My mom's
Okay.
an attorney. And so I would do like the briefs, write the briefs, and then she would put an argument on the briefs, and it was for social security
Right on.
cases. Yeah. So
Because later in the doc, and this is what I was getting at, you guys actually left the house for periods of time,
yeah.
and I was curious about work, how far away you went. Did you travel to Oklahoma and stay for a while, or was it still within the vicinity of Arkansas? And
My life is weird. Okay, so um so I worked as a paralegal or a legal assistant, and Ben, my husband at the time, was a nurse, but for a factory for Tyson. He was like the night nurse, the factory nurse. And he also was going to school during the day for theater. We were both into theater, so we both were theater majors. But just kind of working to get by, well,
right.
the school was finished and stuff like that. In the meantime, we had a friend that had sought out actors for his film. He had gone to film school in LA and wanted us to act in his film. And, we were in that house for 5 years, so a lot of stuff changed over time. But we both ended up working as PAs in the film industry and were offered a position in Joplin, Missouri. And we were like, hell yeah, let's get the F out of this house and go to Missouri for a while. And
Right.
so he was working as a cameraman and I was working as a PA on a production in Joplin, Missouri. So we were there for almost a year. It was close to a year
Wow.
in Joplin. Yeah. And we rented the house out to some poor people while we were gone. So, yeah.
Did they have, while you rented it out, did they have things going on too? Were they having some of the same activity?
Well, our real estate agent said they did, but we never talked to them directly,
Okay.
really, because we went through, a realty company and didn't really deal with it personally. So,
Yeah, that's fair. That sounds like the way to go, really, to be honest.
yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
hands off that bad boy and let somebody else deal with all that
Yeah.
paperwork and bullshit. I don't want none of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I was watching, I'm like, well, where the hell did they go for months at a time? Because then, it talks about you coming back to the house then after
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, man, I want to do something like that where I just leave my house for a year, and just go do
Yeah.
something like that. That'd be great.
Yeah. So, yeah, we came back, and then it wasn't long after that we both moved to we all moved, the whole family moved to California, and we were there for 8 years.
Oh,
And
really?
that's where we started working in the film industry from that
Okay.
point. Yeah. So,
Now, is that what you're doing today, or are you still working in the film industry?
yeah, but I mean, I'm freelance. I just take what comes up, and
Right on.
I also do all these other little side hustles, and
Man.
it's not full time by any means. So, yeah.
Well, Jen's look on her face wants to know if you've met anybody famous.
Is that Jen's? Is that what Jen's?
J-Dub's, yeah. J-Dub's look on her face says, did you meet anybody famous? George Clooney?
I have not.
Ryan Reynolds?
Do you know the comedian Fluffy Gabriel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I worked on his show called Fluffy Breaks Even, and that was really fun. And then I did a little side thing with Martine Marino, who's his kind of fluffy sidekick. So
Okay.
we did kind of a thing. And then, yeah, I mean, there's been a few people. I worked with Travis Kelsey on Catching Kelsey. So some reality
I'm
stuff.
out. I'm out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah,
You mean the one show that he won't acknowledge that he
Yeah.
actually did? You
exactly.
Love that show. Sorry.
Yeah, Catching Kelsey. Yep.
We are actually very big Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Oh, okay.
Long time. Yeah, look, there we go. So yeah, when you say Travis Kelsey, we're all about it. We're all about him, Mahomes,
Yeah.
and the whole 9 yards. So,
Yeah, this was
That's
way before the
yeah.
Swifty era.
Yeah.
Thank God. Back when he was cool. Now he's just not cool. No,
Bunch of
we
little
watched
girls
that
think
as
he
it-
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that as it came out.
Did
We
you?
religiously, yes, we did, because
yeah.
like I said, we've been Chiefs fans for a long time. This
Yeah.
whole dynasty and all that, but yeah, so we watched. That's really fucking cool. I love that.
Yeah,
That's even
it's cool.
yeah.
It's fun.
Travis Kelsey. But
Is he nice?
He was nice. I mean, we don't get to really hang out with the talent too much, but he was polite, anytime we interacted, but yeah,
Nice.
so it was cool. No
I'm hoping to
complaints.
meet that dude someday.
But I did work with Gordon Ramsay on 48 Hours to Hell and Back. It's kind of a spin-off of Hell's Kitchen, and he was not friendly.
Oh.
Not
I can imagine.
at all. He was very aloof. He stayed in his trailer. He didn't interact with anybody at all. So
Well, that may twist how you watch some of Gordon's stuff now, won't it?
You can tell he's a
Dick. It's
I didn't
okay. I'll say it.
that.
Him's a grump ass.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we got off topic a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk cheap some more, I definitely talk Travis Kelsey more. So can you walk me through the car crash a little bit more? And I know we
Yeah.
touched on it earlier. A haunting definitely dramatized it to make it. I don't want to say make it
No,
more
it
than
was
what
bad.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Because-
it was bad. It was probably, I would say it's one of the worst days of my life, if not the worst day. We were all really stressed out. We weren't sleeping a lot. This was kind of at the peak of when the paranormal stuff was happening in the house. Like the kids were sleeping with us, and I mean, we were tired. We were exhausted in a lot of ways. And I mean, I was trying to work. And so I had left work a little early to pick up my oldest and my daughter from school. And I had the boys with me. They were really little. Jackson was in like a a baby car seat. And Bridger was in a booster seat. So they were strapped in really good. And my daughter, Tori, she was in the front seat. She was about 10 years old. Bridger was around 5. And then Jackson was just little. I don't even know. I can't months old.
Right.
And so we were headed home from her school. It was not far, like a 2-mile drive, but we hit the interstate. We were on I-40, and they were working on the road, and somebody had like hit a barrel, or a barrel got knocked around, and it was in the middle of the road instead of where, the construction barrel. It was like not where it's supposed to be. So I dodged it, but then kind of overcorrected, and the road was wet. It had been raining for several days, and we flipped. We hit the ditch. The van went, head over heels. It was bad. It was really bad. We landed upside down, so the van was flipped over. The boys immediately, I could see that they were still buckled in, hanging. They were just hanging upside down. They were fine, but Tori was not in the vehicle. And so I get out. I'm like, running around looking for her. Someone came running up from, that had witnessed the accident. They were like sprinting and they said, someone's under the van. Someone's under the van. And so I knew it was my
Right.
daughter. I didn't know. I didn't know if she was alive.
Right.
This is really, it's hard for me to
No.
talk about, but she was. I crawled under the van. Someone had already called 911. Just people that witnessed the accident, and so I crawled under there. And at first she wasn't responding, but I like grabbed her, grabbed her hand, and she could barely talk. She had a van on top of her.
Right.
Right.
But she was alive, and I just told her, help was on the way, and not to try to talk, but then I tried to get her to say something here and there just so I'd know she was still okay. The paramedics and the tow truck people, it seemed so fast. I don't even know how they got there so fast, but she is very lucky. We're all very lucky because it had rained for several days and the ground was super soft. And so when she hit, she sunk down into the mud. And instead of it being such a blunt,
Right.
force, she was able to have that cushion from the mud
I know.
and sunk into the ground. And so she survived. I mean, she had broken ribs, knocked several teeth out. They thought she had a hole in her heart. They thought it had ripped something. She had some internal bleeding, but it was just from the broken ribs. But they airlifted her to Children's Hospital in Little Rock, and she had broken her back in several places. It was horrible, but could have been a lot worse.
Right.
So, yeah, it was very, very, very hard. So,
Well, I will say that while watching the doc and seeing that, and then hearing that she was okay,
yeah.
I could feel your relief through the through the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I thought this was going someplace different, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy it was all right.
Yeah.
Obviously she had to have surgeries and stuff like that, I'm sure, to fix that stuff. But
Yeah.
how is she doing today?
Great.
Good.
She's doing great. Yeah. I told her she was meant for big things to
Yeah.
have survived something like that. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I guess I didn't think ahead. I apologize. I did not think ahead to be able to talk about that. I might have skipped over that one if I'd have probably thought about that a little bit more, but
no.
thank you for sharing that.
The thing is, it has a happy ending,
Yeah.
It's hard. Even when I drive past that spot where we had the wreck, there's not a time I drive past it that I don't feel like some PTSD from it. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
that area. But
Absolutely.
But the good news is she's doing great, and everybody's doing great. So it's okay. Yeah.
Good. So since we're on the subject of your kids, a lot of the activity that was happening to them.
Yes.
Bridger was like the first to really kind of get focused in on. Is that correct?
Yeah. It seemed like they really attached to him somehow, or for some reason. His room was the most active, and he reported the most, with his toys,
Right.
going off in the middle of the night. And he kept saying he would hear people talking in his room. And I said, what people? And he said, I don't know. It sounds like a lot of people
Right.
talking over each other. Like a sea of people. And that's it. And he said that. And then when we had the investigators come in, one of the psychics said she's like, there are so many spirits here. Like it's a sea of spirits. Like she's
Right.
like, everybody's talking, like there's a lot of noise, but there's just so many, it's hard to hear what they're saying. And that's the same thing Bridger said. So
Right.
Yee.
Yeah, I kind of get that from a lot. I mean, from people that talk about hearing voices in another room. It's like you can hear them talking, but you can never make out what they're saying. It's just
Yeah.
gibberish. It's just,
Right.
it's like I hear something. What is that? And they never can figure out what it is. But
Yeah. It's like they were having a party, you know? Just
and they
talking.
didn't invite you. Sons of
Exactly.
bitches. God.
Exactly.
You tell them it was your house that you should be able to go have a drink with them or something.
I
Please tell me
know.
what's going on here. Now, how do they feel about the documentary and everything that's been talked about now? Because this was a lot of years ago, right? What are we talking? Oh, plus
20
20 plus?
years. It's been about 20 years at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah. So, well, Jackson was too little, my youngest. He was
Right.
just a baby. He doesn't really remember much about that house. He was about 4 or 5 when we finally, moved for good from there.
Right.
Bridger remembers the most, but he doesn't really like to talk about it too much. He almost agreed to be on Austin's show and then kind of backed out at the last minute.
Right.
He was just like, I don't know. He's like, I just kind of want to move on from it. So
How old is he?
he is 26 now. So something like that. 26. I think he's 26. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you did it, you lived through it. Nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on the back burner and go
Yeah.
on with life. But
Yeah.
um,
And Tori, I mean, we will all talk to each other about it, but not often. I mean, it's been so long, we've kind of just all moved on,
Right.
from it. And I think that's kind of the way they like it. So, yeah.
So you guys lived in that house for about 5 years, and it was on and off too, wasn't
On
it?
and
I
off.
mean,
Yeah.
you talked about that there'd be months where there'd be nothing.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
any idea why they would shut it off for a month?
No idea. No idea. And it was just long enough to where we would start to be like, okay, maybe it's done. And we'd
Right.
get, settled in and things would seem normal and then things would happen. It did seem to happen more in the cold months. So like from like October through like early spring seemed to be the most active time, but not
Interesting.
exclusively. There would be
Right.
sometimes, some things would happen in the summertime, but it seemed like most of the activity was in the colder months for some reason. So
Make me think about that. They were all outside playing because they're all children.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, we're outside. Street lights ain't on. Fuck this. We're not going inside."
That's right.
Fucking cold.
There were some really good climbing trees, so I want to think they were outside climbing trees and
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
dirty.
getting dirty, digging in the dirt.
Yeah, because besides the 5 acres, you guys were you guys walled out with trees? I'm trying to
There
think
were a
because
lot of big trees. It wasn't like completely private, but there were, I mean, the land, along the road, there were some trees.
right.
Around the house, there were some big trees. They've cut down my favorite tree, whoever lived
Oh,
in
really?
it.
Wow.
Yeah. Beautiful though. Really, really pretty. A lot of space.
Because
So,
in the documentary, he had like one photo of the front of the house. I
Yeah.
mean, and I mean he did it in J-Dubs too, where he had just kind of a stock footage of a place. But
Yeah.
the one photo, it just looked like, yeah, you were just surrounded by trees, had
Yeah.
those great pillars in the front.
yeah.
I mean, just old school. And you being a history buff, I mean, that really drew you in, I'm sure. But
I loved it.
yeah.
I loved it.
So what was your final straw? What was the final thing that you said, you guys all said, we're done, we're just getting the hell out, we're gonna sell?
That's a good question because in both the haunting episode and the ghost files, it kind of looks like we fled, and that's always something that I'm glad that I have a chance again to say we did not flee the house in the middle of
Right
the
on.
night. Like there was no big event. We were just kind of over it, and not only that, things would break. Everything would break. Or we would get a new appliance, that freaking thing would break. We get a new stove, it would break. We get a new dishwasher, it would break. The electricity, the freaking furnace, that things
Well,
were we couldn't keep up with the repairs. There was a flood or an electrical problem or something all the time, and we were just like, that's it, we're done with the paranormal stuff, and just how much it's costing us to just live here is we're done.
right.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, because I know that you talked a lot about the light bulbs in the hallway,
Oh
and
yeah,
you tried different things, and
everything.
batteries wouldn't last, and
Nope.
yeah,
We tried touch lamps, brand new batteries. They would last less than an hour.
right.
Gone. Yeah. So it was nuts.
How long did it take you to sell it?
Bah.
Did it go
Long.
quick, or did it take a
No,
while?
it took a while. It took
Right
a
on.
while. Yeah. I tried everything too. I made cookies so it smelled like beautiful things when
Right.
people walked in. I was like, let's bake some apple pie and let it feel it
Put it
smell
on the
like home.
windowsill. This is the perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Flowers. Like this is the most perfect place. Make it yours.
Right. Now did you guys live? You guys lived there through the sale? Then you didn't
Yeah.
double dip it. I mean,
No.
I've seen people double dip it, where it's
No.
just so hard.
Yeah. No.
Right on.
So,
Amazing. And
yeah.
then you guys got out of Arkansas, and went to Oklahoma at that point, then, or
No,
stayed
we
in
went.
Arkansas?
We moved to another place in Arkansas. We just rented. We rented in London, Arkansas, which is not far from
Okay.
Lamar. It's just up the road. And then from there we moved to California, to Los Angeles. Yeah.
Now, did you rent because you wanted to feel it out and make sure that nothing followed you, or?
Well, yeah, we didn't really know. I mean, we were trying to decide. Ben was traveling a lot. He was really moving up fast. I mean, we both started as PAs in the film industry, and he pretty quickly started getting work as a camera operator.
Right.
And so, or it was mostly in California. So he was traveling. He'd be gone for
Right.
months at a time. And then finally he got a really long gig in California, and he's like, why don't we just make the move? It just makes sense. He's like, I'm here all the time. Let's just
Right.
move to California. So we did.
Obviously, it was steady work, so yeah, it makes
Exactly.
sense to go out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have absolutely dominated this interview. I have not let the girls talk, and
That's
it's to
okay.
be
That's
expected.
always
Yeah,
how it
I
is.
understand that. So I'm going to open the floor. Rocker Chick, J-Dub, what questions do you have for Jamie? And this is why I dominate the interview.
No, J-Dub was about to say something as I was about to say.
I know. That's why I was like, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a little behind, but did you have other experiences before the house?
Oh yeah. As a kid, teenager, my mom experienced a bunch. I definitely lived in at least one haunted house when I was a teenager. And the funny thing is, the same freaking thing happened with someone showing up to a yard sale and telling us that the house was haunted. That happened to me twice.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was a
Crazy.
teenager, that happened, and then it happened again, and both times it was in Lamar. So it's
So
weird. Yeah,
California, no issues.
no issues in California. Nothing. Actually, that's really surprising, but no, yeah.
And
everything was
is
good.
that what drew you to do what you're doing now as far as the podcast? And
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say, I mean, just all of it, Of course, I'm interested because I've had experiences, but I'm also interested in hearing other people's stories as well. So, kind of a combination of all of that.
gotcha.
Yeah.
J-Dub?
So other than living in the house, what was the scariest thing that had ever happened to you, like paranormal wise?
In my lifetime.
Yeah.
So
Not while you're living at the house.
not the house, but otherwise.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, in another house, also in Lamar, I was a teenager and I started having really bad sleep paralysis. And during several of the sleep paralysis events, I would have what I thought, I wasn't sure. I felt like I was awake, but I would tell myself I was dreaming, you know? And I would see this old lady. And every time I saw her in my dream slash sleep paralysis state, she would be outside my window. My bedroom had windows all across the front. So it was like window, 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 and then a door with windows in it.
Oh, goodness.
And the front porch was on the other side of that. And every time I would see her, she would be a little bit closer. So this went on for nights in a row. She would be a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. And then finally she was just like right there, you know, on me. And that was terrifying to me because I couldn't scream, I couldn't move. It was, you know, I'd had like textbook sleep paralysis. And at the same time, other things were happening in the house. Like my mom had a bunch of, you know, those old wire coat hangers, you know, the wiry, crappy ones. She had like a bunch of those. She was getting ready to do. I feel like I'm talking about yard sale a lot, but she was getting ready for a yard sale. She had all these coat hangers, and she had them twisted up with like a, you know, bread tie to keep them all together. And so every night that I was having these weird sleep paralysis things and seeing this old lady, we'd wake up and something weird was going on in the house. Like the coat hangers were all untwisted and just like hanging up like neatly around. And my mom had struggled with them. She was like, I hate these things. Kind of threw them because they were all tangled up.
Right.
And they had become untangled and were like neatly placed all around this one room. When we woke up the next morning, our family pictures would fly off the wall, end up face down. That stuff was happening. And another thing that happened in this house was I was working with my dad, and I didn't live with my dad. I lived with my mom. They were divorced. And so my stepmom came to pick me up at like 5 a.m. and it was still dark outside. And I overslept because I suck and I always oversleep. But she thought I was awake and she was waiting for me to come out of the house because every single light in the house, it was like it started in my room. The light went off and on in the living room. It was like I was walking room to room, turning the lights on and off. And I was asleep and I was the only one there. And so something was turning the lights on and off and also made my stereo like blare, like as loud. So she thought I was just in there partying, waiting on me to come out. So all of this kind of happened in the same time frame. So that was pretty freaky to me. But that old lady was scary. Like she was just like right there. And then I learned that that's kind of a common thing with sleep paralysis is for people to see the old hag. So I would say she qualifies as an old hag. So I don't know.
I know a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was probably the scariest. It freaked me out. I was really scared of that house for a while. So
That's crazy. That's crazy. Go from one to another. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to finish this part one. I want to thank you so much for being so open with all of that story.
Of course.
And I want to congratulate you on, I was going to look it up. What is it at? Is it 1.4 million views on your documentary?
I think so. I haven't looked in a while, but it's getting up there.
It's getting up there. Congratulations. That's great. That's amazing. And congratulations to Austin also because he did such a wonderful job. Did his dad come with him on?
He
on the trip?
did, yeah. Lou. He's a cool dude
Yeah,
too.
he's good. Good
Yeah.
guy.
I might have snuck into the filming of J-Dub's documentary just so I could meet Austin because that was how it went. As he reached out through the United States Paranormal, and then we just kind of made contact, and then Jen took over and did what she needed to do. But I wanted to meet him because he seemed like such a nice guy via email that I was like, I got to meet this dude, especially he's traveling that far. But
I know.
But yeah, I met his dad, and I was like, that dude's fucking awesome. Let's hang out with
He's a
him.
cool dude. Yeah, he's a cool dude. They're both so nice.
Yes.
It's awesome. I like that you were creeping on them too. You're not just
he's a creeper.
creeping in the background.
Listen, I creep on everybody. I love social media as far as all that goes. Where I can go and if somebody emails Jen's new Colorado favorite, I go leap around and get to know people and see people and see how interesting our viewers are extremely interesting because I've creeped on a lot of them.
Yeah. No, I do it too. I was just giving you a hard time. I'm totally
You love it. Like, son of a bit. Man, look at that tattoo. Wow, that's just little things, family, they have kids, where are they at in that stage of life? And it's just very interesting. So, then you wonder why they're listening to your podcast, what brought them there. And you don't want to creep too far as to start sending them emails like, hey, it's Golden Jay. Why are you watching our podcast?
Yeah.
But,
there's a line. There's a line.
It's a very thin line, but it's there. Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna finish part 1. Get ready for part 2. Don't know when it's coming out exactly. Christmas is next weekend. We got a great Christmas story that Bobbi told, so you may get part 2 in a few weeks, but hang in there because it's coming. So we'll be right back. Thank you for listening to the United States of Paranormal podcast. Check us out at UnitedStatesOfParanormal.com, where you can find our Spotlight of the Month, Fan of the Month, and all of our amazing merchandise. Or you can find us on social media at Facebook at the United States of Paranormal, Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and YouTube at the United States of Paranormal 1795. And don't forget, we are now on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/2sop.
Please check out the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. Golden 80s, Indiana Chiefs Fans, Gridiron Kings, Murd Nerds, The Nostalgia Tug, Real Terror, and the Puck Yeah podcast. But you can still find Golden Image Podcast, A Quart of Books and Booze, and The Call Guys, wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
And if you have a location or a story that you would like for us to check into, please email us at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you listen. Thank you for all of your support. Bye.